The massive alien ship appeared suddenly above Earth on a quiet Tuesday morning. No warning, no radio signals, just there hanging in space like a dark silver teardrop against the blackness. Admiral Olivia Weston stood on the command deck of Earth, Defense Station Alpha. Her eyes fixed on the main screen. The alien vessel was beautiful in a strange way, smooth and curved, unlike the bulky human ships that carried weapons and life support systems on the outside. Alarms blared across every military base on Earth and in orbit. Pilots scrambled to fighters' defense grids, activated missiles prepared to launch. But Olivia raised her hand. "Wait," she said, her voice calm even as her heart raced. "We do not fire. First." The room fell silent, except for the soft beeping of computers and radar systems. The alien ship made no aggressive moves. It simply hung there 20,000 miles above North America. "Get me Dr. Harlow," she ordered. Now Alexandra Harlow was sleeping when they called her. The xenolinguist had spent years studying how aliens might communicate based on mathematical principles. When her phone buzzed, she knew before answering. This was the moment her entire career had prepared for. Within an hour, she stood beside Admiral Weston, staring at the strange patterns being broadcast from the alien ship. The signals repeated in perfect mathematical sequences. "They are trying to talk to us," Alexandra said, her fingers flying across her tablet. "They are using prime numbers as a base. It is a language foundation." Captain Diane Mercer watched from her post at the weapons station. Her hand hovered near the firing controls just in case. Something about the ship made her nervous. It seemed too perfect, too planned. The captain had survived 3 space battles with pirates and smugglers. She knew when something felt wrong. The president called an emergency meeting. Earth had practiced first contact protocols, but no one truly believed they would need them. The United Nations Space Council gathered, virtually as military leaders, scientific experts, and government officials debated what to do. The aliens broadcast the same message for 6 hours before Alexandra made a breakthrough. "They call themselves the Hegemony," she announced, her eyes wide. "With excitement, they say they represent 17 spacefaring species. They want to meet." Samantha Powell, an intelligence analyst with 20 years' experience, frowned as she reviewed deep space telemetry. They were picking up unusual energy readings from just beyond Pluto, faint but consistent with a large group of ships, Admiral. "I think we may have company," she said quietly, showing Olivia the readings. "More of them hiding at the edge of our solar system." The Admiral nodded but kept her expression neutral for the video conference. "We will proceed with caution," she told the president. "We should agree to meet, but on our terms, not theirs." 3 days later, the first official communication happened. Alexandra had worked around the clock to build a translation program. The alien message appeared on screens around the world. "Greetings, people of Earth. We come in peace as representatives of the Galactic Hegemony, a coalition of 17 advanced civilizations. We offer friendship, technology, cultural exchange, and protection. We have watched your development with interest. Your species shows great promise." The world reacted with both excitement and fear. Religious leaders claimed prophecies fulfilled. Stock markets crashed, then surged. Militaries remained on high alert. Conspiracy theories spread faster than facts. When the hegemony diplomats requested permission to land, reactions were mixed. Some nations welcomed the idea, others refused, but eventually a compromise was reached. The aliens would send representatives to a neutral location, the International Space Station, which had been expanded over the years to accommodate scientific delegations. The day of the meeting arrived. 5 alien delegates transferred from their ship to the Yo station. Their bodies were humanoid but taller, with pale blue skin and large eyes that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved with fluid grace that suggested either lower gravity origins or enhanced physical abilities. Admiral Weston led the Earth delegation with Alexandra at her side. The xenolinguist could barely contain her excitement, but maintained professional composure. The meeting began with formal introductions, following protocols Alexandra had established based on the alien signals. "We offer Earth a special status within the hegemony," the lead alien delegate said, its voice translated through Alexandra's program. the sounds melodic, yet somehow mechanical. Protected species status allows developing worlds to benefit from our knowledge while maintaining cultural independence. Something in the phrasing caught Alexandra's attention. Protected species. The words implied hierarchy, subordination. She glanced at Olivia, who had noticed it too. What exactly does protected status entail? Admiral Weston asked, her voice diplomatic but firm. The alien delegate spread its long fingers in what might have been a gesture of openness. We provide technological assistance, medical advances, space travel capabilities, beyond your current understanding. In exchange, we ask only for limited resource sharing and acceptance of hegemony, oversight in certain matters, particularly regarding military development and extraplanetary expansion. Later that night in the secure briefing room aboard Defense Station Alpha, Samantha Powell presented her findings. Those energy signatures beyond Pluto. They match what we now know are hegemony warships. At least 30, maybe more. Olivia studied the data, and they conveniently failed to mention this fleet. Alexandra looked troubled as she reviewed transcripts of the meeting. Their language contains subtle markers consistent with deception, she explained, most notably when discussing their intentions. Their offer of protection seems genuine but incomplete, as if hiding secondary objectives. Captain Mercer, who had monitored the meeting from the station security office, nodded. I noticed their particular interest in our defense systems and resource deposits. They asked specific questions about uranium deposits, rare earth metals, water reserves. The Admiral was silent for a long moment. Then she reached for a secure phone and entered a 16-digit code. This is Admiral Weston. Authorization. Omega 793, she said, quietly. Activate Project Colossus. Immediate implementation. Protocol. The others looked at her with surprise. Only Samantha showed recognition of the code name. What is Project Colossus? Alexandra asked. The Admiral put down the phone. Something we hoped never to need. But I believe the time has come. The hegemony isn't here to welcome us to the galactic community. They're here to assess us, for what Captain Mercer asked, for conquest. Olivia replied, we are not receiving diplomats, we are being scouted, and Earth needs to respond with a statement they will never forget. 3 weeks passed since first contact. The diplomatic talks continued daily. The aliens requested tours of major cities, manufacturing centers, and natural resource sites. Earth leaders debated how much access to grant them. Some nations welcomed the visitors openly. Others maintained strict restrictions. Lieutenant Kelly Blackwood watched the aliens with trained eyes. Her job was to observe their behavior patterns and report anything unusual. She noticed things others missed. The way the delegates always asked about defense systems and natural resources. The way they avoided questions about their own military capabilities. The way they seemed disappointed when denied access to sensitive locations. Something is off with these visitors, Kelly told Admiral Weston during their daily briefing. They claim to be diplomats, but they act like surveyors. The Admiral nodded. Kelly was one of her best intelligence officers with an almost supernatural ability to read body language, even alien body language. We think the same. Go on, they keep asking about our mineral deposits, uranium reserves, and water distribution. Kelly continued. They seem especially interested in our defense response times and communication protocols. These are not the questions of peaceful allies. These are the questions of someone planning something. In her laboratory 20 floors below ground level, Alexandra Harlow worked with quantum physicist Dr. Meredith Vance. The two women had been analyzing the complex data patterns embedded in hegemony transmissions. Their breakthrough came at 3 a.m. after days without proper sleep. Meredith stared at her screen as new data patterns emerged. Look at this, she said, pointing to a hidden packet buried within the aliens. Standard communications. It's encrypted differently than their normal transmissions. Alexandra adjusted her programs. The new algorithm revealed something shocking. A complete assessment of Earth's defenses, resource locations, and population centers, marked with priority extraction ratings. This isn't a diplomatic mission, she whispered. It's an invasion assessment. The evidence mounted daily. Surveillance specialist Abigail Reese, monitoring from lunar observation post. Horizon confirmed increasing activity around Jupiter's moons. The hidden hegemony fleet was establishing forward bases. They think we're blind. Abigail reported, they are using Jupiter's radiation belts to mask their energy signatures, but our new quantum sensors can detect them. They are moving support vessels into position around Europa, and Ganymede Admiral Weston studied the reports. Her face showed no emotion, but her mind raced with calculations. How long until Project Colossus was ready? How much time did Earth have? She traveled to the underground facility in the Pacific Ocean, beneath 2 miles of water and another mile of rock earth, had built this place in secret over 15 years. The heart of Project Colossus engineer Stephanie Graves met her at the central chamber, a tall woman with strong hands and tired eyes. She had dedicated her life to this project. What they had created here might save humanity. Integration phase is complete. Stephanie reported, we are running final simulations now. The gravity manipulation matrix is stable. The lunar implantation sites are all functional. We need only presidential authorization to proceed. How soon? Olivia asked. 24 hours for full activation. Stephanie replied, then it comes down to power management and field stability. We are doing something never attempted before. At this scale, the risks are significant. The Admiral placed her hand on the engineer's shoulder. The alternative is worse. We have confirmation now. The hegemony has conquered at least 6 other worlds. In the past century, they call it protection, but it's resource extraction and population control. Stephanie nodded grimly. I hoped we were wrong. We all did. But their tactics follow the same pattern each time. Diplomatic contact assessment ultimatum, then either surrender or short military action. They rely on technological superiority and psychological intimidation. Their actual military might is significant, but not overwhelming. They prefer worlds to surrender without fighting. Above them, the diplomatic meetings took a turn. The aliens, apparently satisfied with their assessment, dropped their friendly facade. The lead delegate faced Earth representatives in the orbital conference room, its large eyes cold and calculating. Our assessment of your civilization is complete. You have potential but lack the necessary development for independent status within the galactic community. Alexandra translated, keeping her face neutral, though her hands shook slightly. The words confirmed her worst fears. The hegemony extends 2 options, the alien continued. Option 1. Earth accepts protected status immediately. All military development freezes resource extraction rights. Transfer to hegemony. Management, population centers remain under local governance with hegemony oversight. Option 2. Earth resists. The hegemony fleet currently positioned throughout your solar system demonstrates our technological superiority briefly. Then option 1 proceeds with additional restrictions. The room fell silent. Earth representatives looked at each other. The ultimatum was clear. Surrender or face consequences. The aliens had revealed their true purpose. Admiral Weston, who attended via secure video link, spoke calmly. Your terms are noted. We request 72 hours to confer with our full planetary leadership. The alien delegate tilted its head in what might have been amusement. Such time is unnecessary. The choice is simple. Your technology cannot match ours. Resistance would cause unnecessary suffering. Nevertheless, we request the standard 3-day consideration period as established in your own diplomatic protocols. Alexandra interjected smoothly. She had studied their rulebooks thoroughly and knew they valued procedure. The alien paused, then nodded. As you wish, 72 hours. We await your surrender. When the transmission ended, the Earth representatives gathered in a secure room. Alexandra turned to the others. They are following their standard procedure. Exactly as they did with the Centauri colonies and the Procyon worlds. They expect us to fight briefly, lose dramatically, then surrender with minimal casualties. What they don't know, Admiral Weston said, her voice steady, is that Earth has prepared for this moment. Project Colossus is ready. We just need time to implement it fully. What exactly is this project? One of the European representatives asked. Something the hegemony will never expect. Olivia replied, with a calm smile that didn't reach her eyes. Earth appears vulnerable, because we lack their faster-than-light technology and their advanced weapons. But we have something they have never encountered, a completely different approach to physics. The next day, Earth appeared to fracture public announcements, suggested disagreement between nations. Some advocated immediate surrender. Others called for resistance. Despite centuries of working toward unity, humanity seemed to be falling apart exactly as the hegemony had seen on dozens of other worlds. The aliens observed with satisfaction. Their psychological warfare expert Dr. Natalie Harding had orchestrated this display of disarray perfectly. The hegemony diplomats sent messages to their fleet. The conquest would be simple. Earth was divided, weakened by fear, ready to submit, but beneath, the oceans deep in underground facilities on the far side of the moon, humanity worked with singular purpose. Project Colossus pulsed with increasing power. Chief Engineer Lisa Carter monitored the systems as they came online one by one. Energy levels, rising beyond anything previously achieved on Earth. The gravitational manipulation fields were stable. The lunar implantation sites reported green status across all systems. The displacement generators powered up to 90% capacity, 70. 1 hour after the ultimatum, Admiral Weston received the call she had been waiting for. Project Colossus is ready for activation. Stephanie Graves reported, "We await your command." The Admiral looked at the clock. 1 hour until the deadline she picked. Up the secure line to the President. "The time has come to show the hegemony that Earth will not surrender." She said, "We are ready." As the deadline approached, the hegemony watched Earth with growing confidence. Their sensors detected increased military activity, but nothing concerning. The primitive defense satellites repositioned nuclear weapons, armed ancient fighter craft, launched all expected responses from a species facing inevitable defeat, on their command ship orbiting Mars. The hegemony admiral studied Earth reports. His species had conquered 11 worlds personally. This would be his 12th. The pattern always played out the same. The alien commander turned to his subordinate. "Send the final message. Remind them that surrender preserves lives. Resistance only increases suffering." Across Earth, news broadcasts showed chaos. Nations argued. Some military units seemed to refuse orders. Religious groups proclaimed the end times. Stock markets collapsed. Riots broke out in major cities. Dr. Natalie Harding watched the psychological operation unfold from her command center, 6 floors underground. Her team had orchestrated every news broadcast, every social media trend, every public demonstration. "Perfect," she said, studying the reactions. "Completely believable. The hegemony intelligence officers will report exactly what we want." Meanwhile, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the heart of Project Colossus pulsed with energy never before contained by human technology. Chief Engineer Lisa Carter monitored the systems, her hands steady. Despite the stakes, power grid stable, she reported. Field harmonics synchronized. Gravitational displacement matrix operating at optimal levels. Admiral Weston nodded, watching as hundreds of engineers and scientists worked at their stations. This was humanity's greatest achievement. A technology the hegemony believed impossible. At Earth's development stage, is the Lunar Control Center ready? She asked. Commander Grace Foster responded from her station on the moon. All systems green, Admiral. The gravitational anchors are fully operational. Field generators at 100%, waiting for your command. The Admiral checked the time. 5 minutes until the hegemony deadline. She opened a channel to all Project Colossus stations. "This is Admiral Weston," she said, her voice calm but strong. "Today we show the galaxy that humanity will not be conquered. We will not surrender our world, our resources, or our future." The hegemony came expecting another easy victory. They will leave knowing Earth is like nothing they have ever encountered. Commence Operation Checkmate throughout the solar system. The hegemony fleet began to move. Their massive warships accelerated toward Earth. The alien commander watched with satisfaction. As his vessels formed the standard invasion pattern, weapons charged, shields activated, they expected token resistance at most. Instead, they witnessed something impossible. Earth-Moon began to move. Not its normal orbital movement, but a deliberate controlled shift. Its position changed by thousands of kilometers in minutes. The hegemony sensors blared. Warnings. Gravitational anomalies detected energy readings beyond their classification systems. What is happening? The commander demanded. His officers had no answers. They had never seen anything like this. Project Colossus revealed itself. The moon, Earth's moon, moved into position between the planet and the approaching hegemony. Fleet Commander Foster, on the Lunar Control Center, directed the operation with precise commands. The massive gravitational displacement field generators buried deep within the lunar surface activated in perfect sequence. The moon became both shield and weapon. Its position controlled with accuracy that defied conventional physics. The hegemony ships halted, confused by the impossible sight. Before them, a planetoid moved with the precision of a small vessel. Their sensors detected massive energy fields emanating from beneath the lunar surface. Admiral Weston opened a direct channel to the hegemony command ship. Attention, hegemony forces. This is Admiral Olivia Weston of the United Earth Defense Force. You entered our solar system under false diplomatic pretenses. You positioned your fleet for invasion. You demanded our surrender. We reject your ultimatum. Earth presents its counter-proposal: immediate withdrawal of all hegemony forces from the Sol system, recognition of Earth as a sovereign power, establishment of true diplomatic relations based on equality, not conquest. You have 5 minutes to begin withdrawal. The hegemony commander laughed. This is desperation, he told his officers. The humans have created some primitive gravitational technology. They think moving their moon will frighten us. Launch the first attack wave. Show them real power. 30 hegemony warships accelerated toward Earth, firing their primary weapons. The energy beams streaked toward the moon, advanced destructive technology that had shattered the defenses of multiple worlds. The beams hit the lunar surface and disappeared, their energy absorbed by the gravitational dampers designed by physicist Dr. Christine Winters. The moon remained undamaged now, Commander Foster said from the Lunar Control Center, her voice steady as she activated the offensive capabilities of Project Colossus. The moon accelerated, creating a gravitational wake that tore through space like a massive invisible wave. The hegemony vessels closest to the phenomenon found themselves caught in gravitational forces beyond their shielding capacity. 3 ships compressed into twisted metal before they could maneuver clear. 5 more spun out of control, their navigation systems overwhelmed. The others retreated quickly. Tactical Officer Maya Spencer coordinated Earth's conventional response. A swarm of stealth satellites emerged from hiding, delivering targeted electromagnetic pulses to the retreating alien vessels. Hegemony communication systems failed. Ship after ship went silent, unable to coordinate with their fleet. From her station on the diplomatic vessel, Alexandra Harlow opened a channel to the Hegemony Command. Perhaps now you understand, she said. We have analyzed your technology. We know your capabilities. Project Colossus can target any point in the solar system with gravitational distortions capable of destroying your ships at the molecular level. Moreover, we have extracted the coordinates of your core worlds from your own navigational systems. The same technology can be deployed against the Hegemony homeworlds if necessary. The Hegemony commander stared at his viewing screen, his face showing an emotion his species rarely experienced: fear. The humans had done something unprecedented. They had leaped beyond their expected technological development curve. They had created something his civilization believed impossible. For a species at Earth stage, they had studied thousands of developing worlds. The pattern of technological advancement followed predictable paths. Faster than light travel came centuries after initial space exploration: gravitational manipulation. Technology at this scale should be millennia beyond Earth's capability, yet the humans had done it. And worse, they had weaponized it in a way the Hegemony had never considered. Admiral Weston watched the Hegemony ships retreat, their formation broken, their communication systems disabled, their confidence shattered. Earth stands ready to defend itself, she transmitted to the remaining functional hegemony vessels. But we prefer peace. Return to your people. Tell them Earth will not be conquered. We are willing to establish true diplomatic relations based on mutual respect and benefit, but we will never surrender our sovereignty. In the Lunar Control Center, Commander Foster monitored the gravitational field generators. The moon stabilized in its new position. The incredible technology performed beyond even the most optimistic projections. Admiral, the commander reported, we can maintain this configuration indefinitely. The field harmonics are stable. The power consumption is within acceptable parameters. Project Colossus is fully operational. For the first time in weeks, Admiral Weston allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and responded with its greatest achievement. The hegemony ships continued their retreat, gathering at the edge of the solar system. Their commander faced an unprecedented situation. His civilization had conquered dozens of worlds. None had ever presented technology so far beyond their expected development level. None had ever turned the tide so completely. He opened a channel to his homeworld. We require instructions, he transmitted. The Earth situation is unique. They have developed gravitational manipulation technology centuries ahead of their expected capability. They have weaponized their moon. They have extracted our navigational data. They threaten our core worlds. They demand recognition as a sovereign power. The response came hours later. Direct from the hegemony, High Command, for the first time in their expansion history, they would negotiate with a developing world as equals. The humans had earned their attention. Project Colossus continued its vigilant watch. The moon remained in defensive position. Earth prepared for the next phase. When the hegemony returned, it would not be as conquerors but as equals. Admiral Weston looked at the stars visible from her command center. The galaxy had just become a more interesting place, and humanity had announced its presence with a statement that would echo across the stars. 2 days passed as Earth waited. The hegemony fleet remained at the edge of the solar system, their ships dark and quiet. The moon held its defensive position. Project Colossus maintained full operational status. Humanity prepared for whatever came. Next, Admiral Weston barely slept. She monitored reports from defense stations throughout the system. Intelligence analysts tracked hegemony communications. Surveillance systems watched for any sign of aggression. Earth remained ready. On the third day, the hegemony responded. A new vessel appeared near Jupiter. Larger than the others, its design more elaborate. This was no ordinary warship. This was a flagship. Alexandra Harlow studied the transmission patterns. These are different, she told the admiral. More complex, more formal. I think this is their leadership. The message came on all frequencies in perfect English. Attention, Earth forces. This is High Commander Alavex of the Hegemony Council. We request a diplomatic meeting. The full council wishes to discuss recent events and establish new relations with your world. We approach under peaceful conditions with respect for your demonstrated capabilities. Admiral Weston considered the message the hegemony had never negotiated with a developing world as equals. This was unprecedented. She consulted with Earth leadership. The decision was unanimous. They would meet. A neutral platform was established in cislunar space between Earth and its repositioned moon. The location itself, a statement. Earth controlled its system. The meeting would happen on human terms. Admiral Weston led Earth's delegation. Her uniform crisp, her expression confident. She brought key personnel, Alexandra Harlow to handle communications, Engineer Bethany Mills to demonstrate Colossus technology. Lieutenant Vanessa Reed with her background in interspecies ethics. The Hegemony Council arrived in a small transport vessel. 8 aliens representing the ruling species of their coalition. Their posture different than before. Gone was the arrogance, the certainty of superiority. They moved with caution, respect, even fear. High Commander Alavex spoke first. We acknowledge Earth as a sovereign power. Your technological achievement is unprecedented. We offer formal relations, Admiral. Weston nodded. We accept recognition as equals. Nothing less will be considered. The negotiations began. Earth demanded recognition of full sovereign rights, non-interference in human development, access to trade networks, cultural exchange, the hegemony. Representatives agreed to each point, their previous confidence replaced by careful diplomacy. During a break, Engineer Mills demonstrated a miniaturized version of the Colossus technology. A small device no larger than a briefcase generated a gravitational distortion that lifted a metal sphere and held it suspended in midair. The message was clear. Earth could now deploy this technology on conventional vessels. The hegemony scientists observed with naked fascination. One asked, "How did you achieve this? The gravitational manipulation field should be beyond your development stage. Our models indicated Earth was centuries away from such capability." Mills smiled human ingenuity. She said simply, "We saw the problem from a different perspective." Dr. Harlow watched the aliens closely, studying their reactions. She had mastered their communication nuances, their subtle expressions. She could see their fundamental reassessment of humanity. They had classified Earth as a Type 07 civilization on the verge of achieving interplanetary capability. They now recognized their critical error. Earth's technological development was not linear, but exponential, with theoretical breakthroughs awaiting only the catalyst of necessity. First Contact had provided that catalyst. Lieutenant Reed spoke during the formal negotiations, her knowledge of ethical systems allowing her to frame Earth's demands in terms the hegemony would understand. "We propose a fundamental restructuring of your expansion protocols," she said. "Developing worlds deserve protection, not conquest." The hegemony council members looked at each other. Their empire had expanded the same way for thousands of years. Identify developing worlds, assess through diplomacy, then overwhelm with superior technology. They had never encountered a species capable of such a devastating technological leap in response to First Contact. Earth proposes a new approach. Reed continued. Contact without conquest. Assistance without domination. True diplomatic relations, based on mutual benefit. The hegemony has conquered dozens of worlds, but those worlds remain underdeveloped, dependent. This approach wastes potential, creates resentment, limits growth. A coalition of truly independent allies would be stronger, more innovative, more prosperous. The council listened, some with skepticism, others with interest. Earth's demonstration of technological innovation had forced them to reconsider their assumptions. Perhaps the lieutenant was right. Perhaps their approach had limited the potential of conquered worlds. High Commander Alavek spoke. "We will consider these proposals. Earth has proven itself worthy of respect. We acknowledge your sovereignty. We offer alliance, not domination." The treaty took shape over 3 days. Earth recognized as a sovereign power with full rights under hegemony law. Protection for Earth's colonies as they developed technological exchange with safeguards. Trade agreements allowing Earth access to the galactic economy. Most importantly, the hegemony agreed to review its expansion protocols to establish new protections for developing worlds. Earth would help draft these new approaches. Lieutenant Reed working directly with the Council as negotiations concluded. Admiral Weston made one final demand. "We require verification. Your fleet will withdraw from our system immediately. All but a small diplomatic contingent. Earth will maintain Project Colossus at full operational capacity until trust is established." High Commander Alavex agreed the hegemony fleet would depart. A new era would begin. Earth had earned its place among the stars not through centuries of development, but through a single brilliant technological leap. The hegemony vessels prepared to leave their engines, glowing as they aligned for departure. Admiral Weston watched from the observation deck of Earth's orbital headquarters. The moon had returned to its original orbit, its surface now hosting the first major off-world human settlement, Colossus Station, where humanity would develop its new gravitational technologies. Alexandra stood beside her, watching the alien ships disappear into the darkness of space. "They came expecting to find another conquest," the Admiral remarked. "Instead, they found a peer." "No," Alexandra corrected her, studying the data streams from countless research initiatives. sparked by the encounter. They found their future. The hegemony had never faced a species like humanity, a civilization that could make such a leap when threatened, a people who could transform their natural satellite into a weapon of unprecedented power. Earth had made its statement written in the language of stars and gravity, and the universe was now listening. Project Colossus remained active. A reminder to any who might threaten Earth, but it was already evolving. The technology that had saved humanity from conquest would now drive its expansion. Engineer Mills led the development of smaller, more efficient gravitational manipulation systems. The first, human vessels equipped with the technology prepared for their maiden voyages, Earth would explore the galaxy on its own terms. Admiral Weston reviewed the mission plans, the first diplomatic expeditions to nearby star systems, trade missions to hegemony, world scientific exploration beyond known space. Humanity would not wait for permission to claim its place among the stars. Alexandra developed new communication protocols for contact with undiscovered civilizations. Earth would not repeat the hegemony's mistakes. They would approach new worlds with respect as equals, not potential conquests. The galaxy had changed forever. A single world had stood against an empire and prevailed, not through military might alone, but through innovation, adaptability, courage. Earth had proven that technological development did not follow a single predetermined path, that a species threatened could make unexpected leaps. As Admiral Weston prepared for the first meeting of the new Earth Space Council, she reflected on how close they had come to disaster. If the hegemony had recognized the true potential of humanity, if they had struck without warning, if Project Colossus had failed. But they had underestimated Earth. They had followed their standard protocols. Expecting another easy conquest, instead they had awakened a sleeping giant. Now that giant was awake, eyes open to the stars. The universe would never be the same. 1 year passed since first contact. Earth transformed in ways no one could have predicted. The knowledge gained from the hegemony, combined with human innovation, created a renaissance of technology, art, culture, and exploration. Admiral Olivia Weston now served as Earth ambassador to the Hegemony Council. She traveled between worlds once thought unreachable. Human ships equipped with gravitational manipulation technology explored the galaxy. The first colonies established on distant planets. Earth expanded not as a conquered world but as a rising power. Alexandra Harlow led the new Xenocultural Institute. Her work with alien languages and cultures opened doors to understanding, cooperation, and growth. She trained hundreds of new xenolinguists, preparing humanity for contact with civilizations beyond the hegemony. On the anniversary of first contact, Earth celebrated. The day once feared as the beginning of conquest now marked humanity's emergence on the galactic stage. Monuments honored those who had made it possible, the scientists, engineers, and military personnel who created Project Colossus, the diplomats who negotiated Earth's place among the stars. The celebration centered around Colossus Station, the lunar base that had grown into a thriving community. Scientists, engineers, diplomats from a dozen worlds worked together, studying the technology that had changed the balance of power. Admiral Weston arrived from her diplomatic mission to the hegemony homeworld, her shuttle, docking at the lunar port. The station had grown enormous in the past year. Nearly 50,000 people lived and worked there. Its gravitational field generators now provided Earth-standard gravity throughout the facility. Alexandra met her at the dock. The two women embraced, friends who had faced impossible odds together and prevailed. "How was the council meeting?" Alexandra asked as they walked through the crowded corridors. Enlightening, Olivia replied. "The hegemony continues to struggle with the new paradigm. Some factions resist change. Others embrace it, but progress continues. 3 more developing worlds have received recognition as sovereign entities. The expansion protocols we helped draft are working." They entered the Grand Observation Hall. A massive transparent dome revealed Earth hanging in space, blue and beautiful against the blackness. Stars visible beyond. Hundreds of people gathered for the anniversary celebration, humans and aliens together. Engineer Stephanie Graves joined them. Her work on Project Colossus had earned her the highest scientific honors Earth could bestow, Now she led the Advanced Propulsion Division developing the next generation of gravitational technologies. The new drive systems are exceeding expectations, she reported. Faster, more efficient. We can reach the Centauri system in just under 2 weeks now. The hegemony scientists are amazed. They never considered our approach to field harmonics. Lieutenant Kelly Blackwood now. Colonel approached with a group of hegemony military officers. The former intelligence specialist had become a key liaison between Earth forces and alien defense fleets. Admiral, she greeted Weston. These officers wish to observe our training exercises. They are particularly interested in how we integrate gravitational technology with conventional systems. Olivia nodded, approved, but standard protocols apply. No classified systems. The celebration continued. Speeches, music performances, art, displays, Earth culture blended with alien influences, creating something new. The hegemony diplomats watched with growing understanding. They had nearly conquered this world. Instead, they had found a partner high. Commander Alavex now, ambassador to Earth, joined Admiral Weston at the observation window. His tall figure distinctive among the crowd. Your world continues to surprise us, he said. 1 year ago, we thought Earth primitive, developing, worthy of conquest. Now you reshape the galaxy. Your technology spreads. Your ideas challenge our oldest traditions. Your people explore worlds we have not yet reached. It is the human way. Olivia replied, we adapt, we grow, we look forward, not back. The hegemony exists because you conquered. When threatened, you rely on established patterns. We exist because we innovate. When threatened, we create new solutions. The alien considered her words. For thousands of years, our civilization expanded the same way. Our scientists forgot to question, to explore new approaches. You reminded us of what we once were in. The center of the observation hall, engineer Bethany Mills unveiled the newest achievement, a miniaturized gravitational manipulation system, small enough to fit in the palm of a hand, yet powerful enough to lift several tons. The gathered scientists applauded, humans and aliens alike. Recognizing the significance, this is just the beginning. Mills announced, we are developing medical applications, environmental restoration tools, manufacturing systems. The possibilities are endless. Christine Winters, the physicist whose work on gravitational dampers had protected the moon from hegemony weapons, demonstrated the next breakthrough, a shield system that could protect an entire city from almost any attack. The technology that had saved Earth would now safeguard its colonies. Alexandra watched with pride. Her work with alien languages had helped prevent war. Now it built bridges between civilizations. She had learned 17 hegemony languages, established communication protocols with dozen species previously unknown to Earth. The true power of humanity, she told a group of young xenolinguists, is not our technology, but our diversity of thought, our willingness to see problems from multiple perspectives, our capacity to turn threat into opportunity. Lieutenant Vanessa Reed, now head of the Interspecies Ethics Commission, presented the newly ratified Galactic Rights Accord. The document established protections for all sentient species, developing worlds, and emerging civilizations. The hegemony had signed it. 4 other major galactic powers had joined. Earth had accomplished through diplomacy what the hegemony had failed to achieve through conquest as night fell on the lunar base. The celebration continued. Earth ships departed for distant stars, their gravitational drives creating ripples in space-time visible as beautiful distortions against the blackness. Exploration vessels, research missions, diplomatic envoys. The first wave of humanity's expansion. Admiral Weston stood, with Alexandra, watching a group of human children play with young aliens, their laughter transcending species boundaries, their friendship a promise for the future. They came to conquer us, Alexandra said, but instead, they gave us the stars. No, Olivia corrected. They showed us the stars, we took them ourselves. Commander Grace Foster, who had guided the moon during the confrontation with the hegemony, joined them. Her new role as captain of Earth's first deep space exploration vessel suited her perfectly. Leave tomorrow, she said, her excitement evident. Our mission will take us beyond hegemony space. New worlds, new species, new discoveries. The Admiral nodded. We have learned much from the hegemony, but we must find our own path. Earth will not simply adopt alien ways. We will forge something new, something better. As the Earth rose over the lunar horizon, its blue beauty reminding everyone of home, Admiral Weston raised her glass in toast. To Project Colossus, she said. The statement that changed everything. The gathered crowd, humans and aliens together, raised their glasses. The technology that had saved Earth from conquest now drove its ascension. The gravitational manipulation systems evolved daily, applied to everything, from medicine to manufacturing, exploration to defense. The hegemony had sent diplomats expecting another easy conquest. Earth had answered with a Colossus-Class statement, a demonstration of human potential that echoed across the galaxy. And this was just the beginning. Earth ships ventured farther each day. Human colonies grew on distant worlds. The species that had once been confined to a single planet now reached for the stars. Not as conquered subjects, but as innovators, explorers, dreamers. Admiral Weston looked toward the distant stars visible through the observation dome. Somewhere out there, other civilizations waited, some friendly, some not. But Earth was ready. The sleeping giant was fully awake, and the universe would never be the same again. The end.